Get ready for the most glamorous event of the year, the U2B Streets Awards 2025, February 9, 2025, at Laban Midtown, located at 641 West 42nd Street, New York City. Join us at 12 p.m. for the pre-show red carpet extravaganza and a chance to win $500 in our fashion contest. From 2 p.m. to 4 p.m., enjoy the gold tier experience with speakeasy confessionals, press interviews, and premium cocktails. At 4 p.m., the platinum tier includes performances, a comedic host, an awards ceremony, dinner, and gift bags. from 8 p.m. The Diamond tier features a VIP after party with a DJ, aerial dance, fire performances, and gift bags. 24 YouTube categories. And many nominees. Can't attend in person? Stream the entire event live on Hush and Move Media via Uscreen for just $9.99. Get your early bird tickets before September 15, 2024. Visit now. Be a sponsor. Be extraordinary. Be there. Be great.
Welcome to an early edition of the We-On-Loc Nation channel. I am your host, of course. You already know who it is. I thought I'd just do something a little bit earlier because I got something planned today. So I wasn't planning on adding on any other extra exteriors. In other words, I wasn't gonna do the add on to the same old things because people die every day. Hate to bring that up, but unless we subdue to our issues, it's always going to be some type of chaos going on when it comes to Black folks. No one else cares about your situation. No one else cares. No one else cares to know about your situation, your struggle, other than yourselves. But then there's people in your communities who often think capitalism, just because they get a little coin, thus often meaning you should get the same thing. Well, not everybody is getting the same thing. Thus, that person who is capitalizing based on your weakness and their ability to maintain a job and upgrade their positions due to them kissing ass and really not caring about your situation by not donating, no community work, nothing at all. Just it's all about me and my family. Me and my family on the straight. I don't care about nothing. I don't care about nothing else in you and your situation. That sounds like Anton almost. But anyway, I wouldn't plan on doing this because it keeps circulating. It's this one thing in one instance when I had to do this. The one thing that truly pissed me off was when I heard Officer Tatum and I hoped that he was going to say something stupid. And of course, he did say something stupid, but I'll be playing that in a minute. I had to go to the actual thing. What was this thing called? The distributional with Rashad Ritchie. Shouts out to Rashad Ritchie. I've heard of him. He does stuff for Fox News, that channel. If you go to that channel, he does a lot of extraordinary things on Fox. I don't know why he's on Fox, but I digress. But this is a more important theme when you look up at the title and you see the words that I typed up there. Say her name. Say her name. The recent names, and there are a lot of other names, but the names that are stuck in my mind are Sade Robinson, and Sonya Massey. Two black women, both of them young, did not deserve death by any means. Even though even though I would say Sade's death was more tragic. Hey, Mahogany, thanks for stopping by. Even though I say that Sade's death was more tragic, I would say Sonya Massey's death was inexcusable. Sonya's death was more excusable. Say her name. Say her name. When I was at the rally the other day, that's all we ever did is say their names. That's all we ever did was say their names. We said, each and every time we said, like for example, when we said Sonya Massey's name, we pour libations on the ground, water, juice, whatever. Ashe, Ashe. Sade Robinson, Ashe. Sandra Bland, Ashe. Martin Luther King, Ashe. Malcolm X, Ashe. Medgar Evers, Ashe. Rosa Parks, Ashe. Michael Brown, Ashe. The list goes on and on and on. And we play tribute to those individuals who died of pure white supremacy. I'll be here. Okay, thank you, hon. I'll be here. Yeah, I definitely want to talk. Yeah, I just want to know more about the rally. Okay, no problem. No problem. Yeah, the rally was wonderful. The rally was wonderful. There was a lot of pain there. I want to remind you, there was a lot of pain, a lot of questions, but the people gathered up when they saw the numbers of people, especially when it came to the Israelites. Especially when it came to the Israelites, when it came to the Black Panthers, although there could have been more. When it came to the Nation of Islam, and when it came to the NAACP, and when it came to, I am just meeting her for the first time, the last woman that was up there to speak. She was wonderful. I really have to start doing my research more often. I really do. Mayor came up there and was basically tearing it up. The woman that was singing the praises was tearing it up. It went from the elderly all the way down to the youth. When it came to speeches, it went from the elderly all the way, because we have to respect our elderly. Nowadays, we don't like to respect our elderlies anymore. All because you have questions of this and questions of that. It doesn't matter, regardless of what y'all been through, we still respect our elders. Stupid son of a bitches. But anyway, say her name. In the tragic death of Sonya Massey, it couldn't have gotten any worse. It couldn't get any worse. Well, there was another one. There was a one a year ago that happened, I think, in Texas, somewhere in Texas, where 3 officers came in the apartment building because it was a distress signal call. They marched into the apartment and just started shooting. No announcing who they were. They just started shooting. Granted, the woman had a knife in her hand, but they could have just assessed it a little bit more subtly. I guess the girlfriend was arguing with the boyfriend or something. They don't know what's going on. They just went in there and started shooting. We all know what happened to George Floyd. We all know the situation that happened with George Floyd. It was tragic. And I want to remind you, sidebar, I want to remind you the goofballs that are going to be coming in the chat pretty soon. Especially bitch ass Angel. Ah, you little chulos, you little culos that sneak out of Mexico every single freaking day. I love it. I love the attention. I love the attention that you get every day. So from this moment on, I'm going to make your life a living hell. And you're going to see what a nigger, a nigger is really like. You're going to see firsthand what a nigger represents. Each time I see you, Angel, I'm going to be smiling from ear to ear. And of course, this little niglet, chaotic truth, he's not going to have it. But I dare you come on my channel, you little son of a bitch. I dare you to. Let's make it an event. These are the same people that are so obsessed with American ideology. They're so obsessed because they've been given freedoms that black people, Africans, who relatively had to change their names and identities and statuses vis-a-vis African Americans, they have not been given the freedoms of, unfortunately, that the chulos and the culos have been given. Oh, excuse me. I thought that was your country. You snuck out of that motherfucker for a free lunch. Fuck you and fuck what you stand for, chulo. Oh yeah, Angel, I'm all up in your shit, nigga. And I'm gonna cut that fucking mustache off of you if I ever see you in real life. That's on God, motherfucker. I'm gonna cut that mustache off and we gonna see what real niggas ride. You gonna see. That boy got me all fucked up. And what makes it worse is the situation with Chaotic Truth and his dumb ass. This is the reason why I act a fool over his chat, because I don't take him serious. This is the same nigga that said that Malcolm X's father was white. What up, Theory? This is the same man who said that Malcolm X's father was white. And I go, huh? Yeah, be careful over there. Oh, tell Angel, do me a favor. You're over there, right? Do me a favor. Tell Angel I said cut off that mustache. Chulo. Tell Angel I said cut off that mustache before I do it, since you over there. Yeah, you need to be, he's just collecting money. That's all he's doing is collecting money. Collecting money for people's services. But I'm gonna start this show in a bit. But I feel the need to vent a little bit due to two names. And there are more than just two names, but the two names, I know he wasn't tweaking, he was twerking. Yeah, oh yeah, by the way, tell Angel I said stop twerking. Stop twerking for the white man. Tell him I said stop spreading your butt cheeks in front of the white man. Chulo. Oh, I'm not done with him by a long sight. I'm gonna get medieval on his. Oh, pause. I forgot. We're in a state today that I can't be a man. Oh boy, what a world that we live in. But anyway, I feel the need to vent because of the two names, the two iconic names that come to mind, and that's Sade Robinson. Oh, I will never forget that lady's name. A 19-year-old woman, a 19-year-old woman who whose life was very, very bright until that tragic day when she ran into a white supremacist. More than a white supremacist, a killer to the third degree, the first degree, actually, because he committed first degree, second degree, third degree, however they go, right? And then more than that, want to commit sex acts with her, but she ended up seeing something that she shouldn't have saw, which startled her, which she ended up getting murdered for. Not only that, but dismembered. She was dismembered, disfigured, and her body was spread out across Lake Michigan in Milwaukee. Now you know Lake Michigan goes up and down the coast, so I still, I mean, I talked to her mother on Facebook, and I'm still trying to see if she would like to come on board. And I know it's still a fresh type of a tragedy. Um, I'm not gonna rush the lady if I don't have to, or excuse me, I'm not gonna rush her. The proper lingo is I'm not gonna rush her to do anything. Um, as far as Sonya Massey is concerned, um, officer had no remorse, and there's still let me just go into the quicker things of what really pissed me off. What really pissed me off was this no good sack of shit in Officer Brandon Tatum, uh, 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 a a puppet for his police squad. Now he's a YouTubian who, quite frankly, has no business shouting out Umar's name. Umar's name was smack. Umar would basically smack the shit out of him publicly. But anyway, he went on again. He went on a show. I think this is on Fox. It's indisputable with Rashad Ritchie. Now I've listened, like I said, I listened to the brother before, and the brother has good lingo. He speaks well. Pretty good. I don't know why he's on Fox. And he tells the truth. I don't know why he is on Fox. But this is what really got on my nerves. I'm going to play the whole thing. I'm not going to say much. I'm just want to let you, I want you to sit on it, and I want you to really digest what I'm feeling and what I'm saying. What other people, even, I have to give credit to Anton Daniels. I have to give credit where credit is due. There should have been nothing, no excuses of any kind when it came to the sister being shot in the eye socket. I think what? Hey, Helen, how you doing? Good morning, good afternoon. How you doing? Wait, let me cancel this. What'd she say? I think he is. If I never heard of this word before. Feedable with TY. Oh, I heard of that. I heard of that before. Yeah. But needless to say, the brother is pretty good. The Young Turkish Network. Okay. Cool. I've heard of it. I haven't seen it much. But let's just listen and just take into what this god awful brother, what he had to say. Let's go. Fair use.
Law says.
Injured in a car accident? Want to see if you qualify for a huge check like this? Don't call insurance. Don't call.
Massey was justified. The other officer is on record saying he was not. In my opinion, obviously, it is well known. I believe this cop committed murder. Now, I'm going to remind you of the video and provide the context. We'll get into our discussion. Here it is.
The body camera video reveals the events leading up to the horrific scene.
What took you so long to answer the door?
Oh, I was trying to put on some clothes, sir. I'm sorry.
You doing all right mentally?
Yes.
Sure?
My medicine and stuff.
All right. Okay.
I love y'all. Thank y'all.
Inside the home, Sangamon County Sheriff's Deputy Sean Grayson can be heard asking Sonya Massey to check on the stove.
We don't need a fire while we're here.
Within seconds, things become tense.
Where are you going?
Huh?
Where you going?
Away from your hot steaming water.
Away from my hot steaming water?
Yeah.
Oh, I would rebuke you in the name of Jesus.
Huh?
Rebuke you in the name of
God, that's where I got you traitor.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Massey starts to set down the pot and apologizes. Grayson fires 3 times, striking her in the face.
Headshot wounded female, 1078.
Prosecutors say Grayson's partner tried to give the 36-year-old first aid, even though Grayson discouraged him.
I'm gonna go get my kit. No, you're done. You can go get it, but that's a headshot.
Let's put up this screenshot for mass. Civil rights lawyer John H. Bryan gave a breakdown of the events of the shooting, referencing the body cam of both cops. At 1:20 and 44 seconds, switching to Deputy Grayson's body cam, we can see that at this time, the first time being told to drop the effing pot, Sonya raises her hands in the air and says, "I'm sorry." You can see that image there. We made a still for your review. Zooming in, We can see Sonya is not holding the pot that she's being ordered at gunpoint to drop. These are facts. The pot is on the stove, clearly seen. And Sonya has oven mitts in her hands, clearly seen. She also appears to be covering her ears and afraid. And Grayson shouts at her, "Drop the effing pot." The civil rights lawyer notes 120 and 45. Sonya ducks down. At this moment, you hear the other deputy draw his pistol. He also yells at Sonya, "Drop the pot." So now 2 cops are screaming at her to drop a pot she's not holding. Ladies and gentlemen, these are facts. 2 cops are screaming at her to drop a pot she is not holding. We have the evidence, okay? Go to the next one. At 120, 45 seconds. Switching back to Deputy Grayson's body cam at that exact second, you can clearly see conclusively that Sonya did not take the pot with her when she ducked down. It's still sitting on the counter.
Correct.
This is a zoomed in screenshot of that same still, showing the pot is not in Sonya's possession. As she is ducking down in fear and confusion, she was undergoing a mental health crisis, thinking a prowler was at the home. 120-46. Let's switch back to Grayson's body cam, which has a better view. When the other deputy joins Grayson in aiming their guns at Sonya and shouting at her, "Drop the pot that she's not holding." Once again, the pot is circled for you. Let's speed up 1 second. Now I'm at 120 and 47 seconds. Deputy Grayson then begins to advance forward towards Sonya Massey, who has not moved from her position. She is ducking down on her kitchen floor as if she's somehow the perpetrator. Grayson is the one who begins to move. Instead of away from a perceived threat, he moves towards Sonya. Okay? 120-47, switching back to Deputy Grayson's body cam. This is what he saw, which appears to be Sonya Massey going from being crouched with no pot to reaching up, grabbing the pot, mid still on her hands, and then holding the pot over her head. Could it be that she grabbed the pot, held it over her head because they kept telling her to drop the pot, drop the pot, drop the pot that she did not have in her hands? 120-48, switching again to the other deputy's body cam now. After Grayson shoots Massey, who did not threaten to throw water on anyone, you see what appears to be steaming water hit the officer's chair at lower left of the kitchen floor. That's when you saw water. CBS News previously reported Grayson pleaded guilty twice to DUI prior to becoming a cop. He served at 6 different departments in 4 years, and that he was discharged from the U.S. Army in 2016 from the Fort Riley Army installation in Kansas for serious misconduct. They refused to name the exact nature of the misconduct, only called it serious. One of the incidents in which Grayson is accused of having trouble obeying orders happening during his 5th police job with the Logan County Sheriff's Office, where he worked from May 2022 to April 2023. Grayson refused an order by a superior to terminate a high-speed chase in the state, 121 over traffic infraction in which his speed at times reached 110 miles per hour. He's putting other people in danger. He refused a direct order. Grayson told his superiors he was about to terminate the pursuit, but he did not. Audio recordings obtained by CBS News also show superior officers were worried about Grayson's behavior. In a recording released by the Logan County Sheriff's Office, where Grayson worked from May 2022 to April 2023, a supervising officer is heard admonishing Grayson for what the senior officer said was his lack of integrity, for lying on his police reports, and for what he calls official misconduct. The sheriff and I will not tolerate lying or deception, he says in the recording. The officer tells him in the audio recording of a November 2022 meeting obtained by CBS News. At one point, the supervising officer warns Grayson that officers like you have been charged and they end up in jail, end quote. And that's exactly where his ass is at. Now, let's talk about it openly. On the panel, I have Leon Taylor, Master Sergeant, United States Air Force, retired with over 20 years of experience, also a retired Baltimore police officer. And we have Officer Brandon Tatum, a former member of SWAT, CEO of 3 companies, and he is known for his YouTube channel talking about police conduct. Gentlemen, thank you both for being on the program.
Thanks for having us.
Okay, here's what I want to do. Officer Tatum, you have taken the position that this police officer is justified. I would like you to explain your position, and then I'm going to go to our other panelists for their opinion. What say you?
All right, so I want to make sure we're clear here. Justification is not, is he justified in the death of this young lady?
So I asked ChatGPT to build me a Shopify store, and it said, no, we can't do that. But
lady, justification is the justified use of force. So I don't condone any of his actions before the shooting. I don't think that he's a great officer with great reputation, and I'm not supporting him whatsoever. I'm saying that the use of force, when she lunged at the police officers with the pot, the use of deadly force was appropriate and justified in that particular instance.
What, say that again?
That when she lunged at the police officers with the pot of boiling water, that Grayson was justified in using deadly force against her.
Okay, so in your...
Notice that he said lunged. Lunged a pot of boiling water. We all seen the tape frontwards and backwards. If you want a more clear visual, if you want demonstration, go to DJ Hamp's live, where they were demonstrating case by case, step by step, what had happened that night. Okay? You can do that, or you can look clearly through both cameras. Officer Grayson and the other officer. Both cameras. And even though you see different, there are 2 different cameras, but they're the same result. But notice he said lunge. Did anybody see Sonya Massey lunge at the officers with the pot?
I guess estimation of what happened, she violently attacked the officer.
No, I didn't say she violently attacked the officer. She picked up the pot and she threw it in the direction of both officers, and out of fear.
Which means she attacked. Lunging a pot of boiling water could be considered a weapon, a deadly weapon. Thus, she lunged at the officers.
Of serious bodily injury, which is a part of the statute requirement, they can utilize deadly force to deter that threat. And that's what Grayson...
He seriously needs to make up his mind.
...did in that instance, and that's why I believe it's justified.
You know, I could go back and forth with you. I'm going to allow the panelists to opine on this because I'm sure he has something to say. Officer, what say you?
Well, it's interesting. You know, you can't legislate morality. That's for certain. But I'm in all of this, I'm still trying to understand why they're inside the house. It makes no sense to me. If the original call was for a burglar or a suspected prowler, once they've ascertained that that's not the case, why do they need to go inside? They already know that she possibly has mental health issues. To my mind, to my way of thinking, once they established they've satisfied the requirements of the original call, you check on her, ask if she's all right. It's time to code the call to go back in service.
There's a dispute, obviously, of her malicious intent. I don't think there was any malicious intent whatsoever. I believe this woman was in fear of her life. I think she was being told very confusing things in a confused state. And she was then shot and killed. Officer Tatum, I want to go back to you and pose some questions that other cops have posed, similar to what you just heard. There's a white female cop who went on record pretty quickly in uniform and talked about how this officer in particular should have never been a cop, and then she gets into the conduct after this happened. Tatum, why did he lie to his colleagues?
You're talking about in the former incident?
Well, he's been lying. I'm not even talking about the other incidents where we know he lied on police reports, which is a fisherman's conduct, violation of oath of office, et cetera. I'm talking about this time. As soon as his colleagues arrived, he told a narrative of an aggressive, violent individual. As a matter of fact, he said she was a crazy B word. All right. That's unprofessional, naturally, but it goes to his state of mind, dear brother. In a court of law, that goes to state of mind. If you believe you're dealing with a crazy B word rather than a person experiencing either A, a mental health crisis, or B, a possible victim of a potential crime, it goes to your state of mind.
Well, I don't think that's going to end up being relevant in this case, but I do think it was reprehensible for someone to speak like that.
Why don't you think it's relevant in this case when it's already been deemed relevant? That's why
it's not going to be relevant. They indicted him, in my opinion, because they wanted to stop the riots from happening. They didn't want people to lose their mind over this shooting that was very emotional. In the court of law, this is going to be a self-defense argument. So
people are going to lose their minds anyway. If they redeem him innocent in a court of law. What is this dude talking about? There's going to be possibly a riot that we may have never seen before. Possibly the same ones. In my opinion, if they start burning stuff to the ground, I would not. Hey, I wish I was out there with them. I would be participating in just destroying everything, because none of it belongs to us anyway. None of it does.
Grayson is going to argue that he acted in self-defense, and that's the only thing that's going to be on the table.
Why didn't his partner respond the same way then?
Well, I think first of all, their tactics were terrible. His partner was in a very difficult position to do anything. He almost shot Grayson in the back. So these cops had a lot of things that they did incorrectly, and their tactics were horrible. And I think that's why both of them didn't respond in the same manner. But I think this is going to be a self-defense argument. That's what I'm saying in the court, not what I feel.
This is the most ignorant nigga I've ever met. First of all, the second time he even fired, all the shots came from Grayson, you stupid son of a bitch. Missing something? Am I totally missing something? All 3 shots rung out. All 3 shots hit Sonya Massey. One in the face, 2 in the chest. And what's worse, she was still breathing. And he canceled the kit. He canceled the medical kit.
Agree with their actions, but the only thing they got right.
It's going to be I think it was reprehensible for someone to speak
Why don't
like
you
that.
think it's relevant in this?
I don't know what went wrong, but my bad. My bad. Well, let's continue.
Case when it's already been deemed relevant. That's why
No,
he
it's
got
not.
indicted.
It's not going to be relevant. They indicted him, in my opinion, because they wanted to stop the riots from happening. They didn't want people to lose their mind over this shooting that was very emotional. In the court of law, this is going to be a self-defense argument. So Grayson is going to.
As I stated, I don't know if you heard me, but I'm going to say it again. They are already emotions gone real high because number one, you lie. I'm not saying he lied. I'm saying that the officer has completely lied to the officers that after the aftermath of the shooting of Sonya Gracie, they lied to the cops and then they went to the hospital and lied to them too. So when the son arrived to the hospital, they didn't know who shot who. Was totally irresponsible and just demonic as hell. So yes, it's going to be some shit if this officer is not only hopefully he has lost his bond, because I believe he's still getting paid. But if he's not getting paid, he has lost his bond and he's lost his job and he's underneath the jail somewhere. If they do not render him guilty under the court of law, it's a problem, and it's going to be a problem. And I hope, and by the way, I hope they start marching in Vegas. I hope they do, because I'm going to be right there. And if I don't think they're going to do this, but just in case, if the Black Panthers decide to pull out their arsenals, guess who's going to be in line with them? It's going to be a lovely day.
Argued that he acted in self-defense, and that's the only thing that's going to be on the table. His previous behavior. Why didn't his partner
respond the same way then?
Well, I think first of all, their tactics were terrible. His partner was in a very difficult position to do anything. He almost shot Grayson in the back. So these cops had a lot of things that they did incorrectly, and their tactics were horrible. And I think that's why both of them didn't respond in the same manner. But I think this is going to be a self-defense argument. That's what I'm saying in the court. Not what I feel, not what anybody else thinks, not how horrible this was. It was sad to see the woman lose her life like that.
Of course, he's going to make a self-defense argument if he's pleading not guilty.
No, but that's going to be the argument. Is he's going to argue self-defense, and the prosecution is going to have to prove that he wasn't acting in self-defense beyond a reasonable doubt.
Yeah, we know that.
The burden of proof is not going to be. They're not going to be sufficient in this, given the fact
that's
that
why we have fact checkers called jury members. But let me get this correct. Tatum, you're saying that these cops did everything wrong. They broke protocol. They are bad cops. You don't agree with their actions, but the only thing they got right was killing that woman.
No, that's not what I'm saying whatsoever.
That's basically what you're saying.
I don't think that both cops did everything wrong. I think that Grayson did a lot of things wrong. I would have liked to have seen him de-escalate in that situation. I would have liked to have seen, him do a lot of things differently. Even after he shot her, I would like to see them at least give an attempt to render aid, even though they wasn't going to be able to
once again,
properly render aid. But I think that being a bad cop doesn't mean that you're not justified in defending yourself against a person hurling boiling water. I think that's what it's going to end up coming down to.
Yeah, I didn't see a hurling of boiling water.
He did. I sent your staff the video that I did. I think we're sending over now. It's a video that I did where I put it in slow motion and I show the trajectory of the pod and the way the water went out and it hit a table. I mean, it hit like a chair and the floor. And so you can see that the water was hurled and propelled in their direction. And that's when he pulled the trigger and shot her. Listen, if she hadn't thrown that water, I think that these cops would, well, at least Grayson would have not have been justified and he would have gotten charged correctly. But I think when she threw that water, he's going to have a justification in the necessity to use deadly force. And his went out and it hit a table. I mean, it hit like a shot her. Listen, if she hadn't thrown that water, shot her. Listen, if she hadn't thrown that water, shot her. Listen, if she hadn't thrown that water, I think that these cops would, well, at least the Grayson would have not have been justified and he would have gotten charged correctly. But I think when she threw that water, he's going to have a justification in the necessity to use deadly force in his self-defense.
In the aisle of which she was, between the aisle, the table, actually, let's just say the table. It was an aisle. Between the aisle of which he was already at least a foot back. A foot or more back. She was in the kitchen. How can she harm any officer when the second officer was by the bedroom? So at that point, who was she going to hurl between the island and the pathway of which between the kitchen and the living room? Between the kitchen and the living room, it's at least, I would say a car length, I would say a small car length away. So when you're standing a car, I would say a small Chevy Honda. If you put a Chevy Honda in that room, it's going to fit that room. From where he was until he started moving forward, she was still not, she was on her knees. And the only reason why there was water on the floor from the beginning is because when Grayson shot her, her left elbow was towards the ground and her right elbow was towards the air. Remember, the first time around, the pot of boiling water, which I don't believe that freaking thing was that hot to begin with, but that's just my exception. It was already on the counter. When she heard him say 3 other times, put it on the ground, put it on the ground, put it on the ground, she grabbed it and tried to put it on the freaking ground. But she saw the other cop draw his gun. She got startled. She got shot.
I got to go to Officer Taylor. Officer Taylor, what say you to that?
Well, I understand the law and I understand self-defense. And, every day in this country, officers respond to these sort of calls. And I've never heard of hot water being used as a weapon that justifies the use of deadly force. To my way of thinking, they could have mitigated the whole thing. Number one, they didn't have to be inside the residence with her. That's number one. Number two, if they were going to be in the residence, you've got an officer primary and you got a backup officer. If you're so concerned about the possibility of a fire breaking out, and you have this woman who you've already established has mental issues, she's seated. Why not have your partner go and turn the pot off? If it's that big of a deal. Again, I still don't understand why they were both inside the residence asking for her ID.
I can explain.
They're trying to run her for warrants or whatever.
I can explain that. I can explain it. I agree with you that when you look at it after the fact, there's some things that I wish that they would have done differently. But it wasn't unlawful to be in her house at the time of this incident. It seems that when they first engaged with her, it was a call the night before of her struggling with mental illness. That's why Officer Grayson, a Deputy Grayson asked her, was she still struggling with mental illness, because she was kind of being erratic. So on a call that's a prowler call, you have the right to investigate the call and get information from the person who's calling so that you can rectify it, because she did seem like she was struggling from a mental illness encounter. She was also on the phone with.
So she called specifically for a possible burglary or disturbance. So, to my discretion, you search the house first. You search the outside of the house. Excuse me. They searched the outside of the house already. They searched the lodge, or not the lodge, but the outhouse, or what y'all would call back in the day the outhouse, which has all your tools and shit. But you know what I mean. Search that. Search the outside of the house. Search. There was a car there. The procedure is check the car. Check to see if there was a need to ask her about the car. And once you ask her about the car, do another search around again, which they checked all houses, which was in that area. Hey, Bridge, which is in that area. They checked all that. And at that point, you say, we didn't see anything. And you describe what you saw or what you may heard. You take a report on it, give her your card, leave. You had no business in the house. And mind you, they have history. They have history of allegedly shooting somebody else in their family. So I don't know why she would call, but again, somebody who has a mental disorder, it's appropriate to call somebody for help. But this son of a bitch, this is what pissed me off.
With another deputy, it seemed like they were trying to get her mental illness situation, I guess put into check, which everything was going fine. They were having a reasonable conversation. They were laughing and joking. Even when she went to the stove, they kind of were joking before she said, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. And so I think that that's where the storyline is going to go in the court of law. They're going to say that everything was fine. Nobody was being intense. Nobody was violating laws. They were acting within the color of their authority. She didn't ask them to leave the house.
This is what this guy thinks. Let me go about it before being emotional, which it's human to be emotional. Because if I wasn't an emotional person, I would do some things to you intently that I would have no remorse for. No remorse whatsoever. So this guy has I had it in my head. Let's just say he has a conscience for the police department. But unconsciously, he's not thinking wisely. He's not thinking, who are you? Drop the link. Messenger, drop the link. Okay. I wasn't planning on doing that today, but I guess I have to drop the link then. But anyway, there's specific conscious and unconscious about, excuse me. KJ, what's going on? I haven't seen you in a while, dude. How you been? There is a conscious and subconscious when it comes to police officers like this, kissing ass, being all about the law. I can be all about the law too, but I can't be all in tune unsubconsciously, because I know I have a community to attend to. In other words, I have a community that I want to do right by, because we have children out there. Thus, he has a conscience about the law, which is cool, great. We all should know about the law. We all should know about law. We all should know about standards. But Where is the standard? Where's the standards when it came to this woman? There was no remorse when it came to this woman. None whatsoever. But that's Officer Tatum for you. And he's not the only one, by the way.
House. She didn't say that she felt threatened by them at any point, and everything was fine until she got to the stove. And I'll just give an example of the stove situation. Looking back on it, I think they should have probably asked her. This is what I would have done if I was in a situation, because I don't want her to think I'm overstepping her bounds, and I do want to be cautious to her own living space. So I would have asked her, ma'am, would you mind if I turn your stove off, because it seems like it's going to catch on fire if we don't do something about it? I do understand how an officer wouldn't want to overstep their bounds and try to start turning stuff off in her house and messing with her appliances. In a reasonable situation, if she'd have went over there and turned her fire off and went back to sit down, that's what everybody would have liked to have seen happen. But it didn't end up that way.
Oh, Lord. Hey, True.
Good day, sir. How are you?
I don't know. I don't know how I'm gonna feel. What's on your mind?
Not too much. Swear that you was covering the situation with Miss Sonya Massey. You know, and first and foremost, condolences to her and her family and those who are also affected by, you know, what tragically happened to this woman. So what do you think about the situation?
I think the woman didn't have to die. Didn't have to die the way that she did. And I hope the officer gets what he gets. That's what I believe.
You said the
but if it's life in prison, sure. If it's the electric chair, great.
Okay. So so you seen the actual footage?
Yep. All four videos, 2 cameras.
Oh, it's 4 videos?
Yeah.
See, do you currently have all 4?
No, I don't currently have all 4. I trust that you have seen at least, because it's been viral. I'm sure you've seen at least 1 or 2.
Yeah, I seen 2 of them. That's what I was saying. I didn't know it was about 4 of them, like 4 different.
Because it was one on his cam, it was one on Grayson's cam. There was of course, everybody seeing the second camera, okay, and then there was the full body cam where they did the whole search of the house, the outside of the house, and then it even went to the other houses that was in that area over there. So they basically searched that entire area because they knocked on the door for at least a good 3-4 minutes before she came out.
Okay. So it's footage of the officers arriving on the scene, and then you said searching not only her property, but also surrounding properties.
Yes.
Okay. And that was before their actual interaction with her.
Correct.
Okay. And so when they got in the house, they had a whole conversation with her, and she seemed pretty like even killed for the most part. Didn't seem like a danger to anyone. Is that what you gauged as well?
Yep.
Okay. And then I guess she was cooking but wanted to remove the pot from the stove, I guess. You know, so the pot would overboil or whatever, I guess. And then
they told her that
to cut the stove off.
Cut the stove off because they didn't want to start it. There wasn't no fire started.
Right.
So she, yeah. So she went over there and put on the oven mitts, removed the pot. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I remember vaguely hearing. Do you at least have one of the videos? Because I just remember I want to hear the dialogue between the two again.
I don't have one of these, but I am reviewing this brother here.
Oh, they got it on here?
They got it on here, yeah.
Oh, okay.
They got it on here. Let me see here. I might have to go backwards. Oh, yeah. Okay. Right here.
The civil rights.
Hold on.
Lawyer notes 120 and 45. Sonya ducks down. At this moment, you hear the other deputy draw his pistol.
Oh, these are just
He also yells at Sonya, drop the pot.
Oh.
So now two cops are screaming at her.
Oh, here go the video.
The body camera video reveals the events leading up to the horrific scene.
What took you so long to answer the door?
Oh, I was trying to put on some clothes, sir. I'm sorry.
You doing all right mentally?
Yes.
Sure?
My medicine and stuff.
All right. Okay.
I love you. Thank you.
Inside the home, Sangamon County Sheriff's Deputy Sean Grayson can be heard asking Sonya Massey to check on the stove.
We don't need a fire while we're here.
Within seconds, things become tense.
Where are you going?
Huh?
Where are you going?
Away from your hot steaming water.
Away from my hot steaming water?
Yeah.
Oh, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus.
Huh?
I rebuke you in the name of
No, that's where I got you traitor.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Massey starts to set down the pot and apologizes. Grayson fires 3 times, striking her in the face.
Headshot with the female, 1078.
Prosecutors say Grayson's partner tried to give the 36-year-old first aid, even though Grayson discouraged him.
I'm gonna go get my kit. No, yeah, sure, she's done. You can go get it, but that's a headshot.
Yo, that's every time just hearing that dialogue, it's just crazy. So there's clearly foul play here, and that man clearly and this you clearly can see that this is severe trauma and tragic, and the sad part is horrible training by these police officers. This is just terrible. I don't think he just should be dealt with. I think the whole department, because I would like for them to actually explain who taught him to handle situations like this, and is this something routinely he handles it like that? Do they have other body cam footage where things, escalate to this type of situation?
The similar situation or this situation in general?
I'm saying, like, does he have a history of escalating situations to this type of thing? Or they brought a report out?
It was shown. What the hell was he doing? He was driving. He hit a deer at 110 miles an hour. There were some other things within he ended up resigning for some other reasons. But he ended up going to at least 3 or 4 different precincts before he landed this job. And then, of course, we all know what happened. So, and then it's funny, crazy. Huh?
You said he was rejected employment before he landed this one?
No. He resigned. He resigned at the force that he was. I don't know where he landed, or he landed at several precincts before. Sam landed several jobs off I don't know where he was at that time, but he was still a police officer at that time, but he wanted to resign due to the fact that they were going to prosecute him to the full extent of the law, due to the fact that not only did he run over a deer, but he did some other things along the way. I don't really know, but this is what is being.
So you saying he was already in trouble prior to this?
Pretty much. But they ended up, but they treat police officers like teachers are being treated. They don't fire him, they just send him somewhere else. So it's due to their unions. Oh, he said, oh, he was, that's right. Thank you, Bridge. He was discharged from the military.
Oh, see, he was a prominent in the military. See, and that's something that need to be noted. So, thank you for that information, Miss Bridget. So, this is where I was about to go at as far as with the police department that he was currently working for during this incident. If he was discharged from the military, why was he discharged or had problems in the military? And why did they think that should have been overlooked for him to have employed?
I don't think it's the matter of why. I think it's the matter of, can you do for me, and the experience. It's always happened this way, and it's always going to happen that way. They're going to hire people with the experience. Like, for example, we need police force here in the state of Nevada, right? They say that they're hiring. They say they're hiring everyone. In other places, it's the same exact thing. Why? Because we have police officers that are being being trained or untrained. If they're being trained improperly, right? So with this one, I don't know the full details. We will all know in due time at the I think at the end of the year when they go to trial or court or whatever. But what is the fact is that these are the people that the industry needs. They need officers like this. But I want to go to what Freezy said. And it was quite interesting with Freezy, right?
Yes.
Okay, Freezy said that this dude had a colostomy bag on.
Who?
While on duty. Officer Grayson.
The one that did the shooting?
Did the shooting, yeah.
Oh, so he had some type of severe health problems.
Yes. Well,
wow.
It's mind-boggling to me why you're still on the police force to begin with, but I digress. It still does not justify you pulling your gun out, shooting her in the face, and then after he had supposedly colon cancer. It still does not justify you shooting her in the face and then not rendering her an aid. You're supposed to render aid no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
And then calling her a crazy bitch.
Yeah, I heard that he said that. I didn't physically audio wise hear him say that, but I heard other people said that he said that. So you heard him say that verbally?
Yes.
Wow.
As a matter of fact, I'll do this for you. I'll do this for you. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Like, share, subscribe to the channel. Let me see. Oh yeah, I can go to mine. Because me and Adam and the person that sent this to me, we were reviewing it the first time it came out. Oh wow. I can't believe he lost his belt over that. Oh, tisk tisk. Let's see. No. We'll go to here. So you saw tell what's your assessment on this whole entire thing?
So from everything that I have observed, that's why I was going down piece by piece. As far as for the police department, whichever department this was, they need to also be held liable for the fact that I do things systematically. So let's start from the fact that he is an employee of that police department. So my question is, I want to know who this guy is from the beginning of his employment. Why was he? Where was he at before this employment? If the military was where he was at, why he was no longer in the military? If he was discharged from the military for disciplinary actions, that's an alarming red flag. Mm-hmm. So then, why I want to know, why did you guys see fit to hire a person that had problems in the military and to bring them to be a public servant? Because this is what these guys got to start understanding what they are now. You're no longer in war. You're a public servant now. You serve the community.
Yes.
So that's a transition right there. So there should be some psychological and sociological evaluation that extensively probably need to go through for these people to acclimate from war to servitude to a community, let alone a Black community. That's number one. Number two then goes into the history of his actual employment in said police force. Has he also had other run-ins and altercations with the civilians and people inside of his community, white or Black? Then the third part is then the transition to see if there is any patterns and sequences that shows over usage or these type of situations and a reoccurrence to specifically Black individuals.
Mm-hmm.
Then lastly, you go into the actual situation right here. The fact that, not only did this man go inside this place, he had backup.
Yes.
He had backup. He had he was fully loaded with all his service weapons and flat jacket, taser, every other thing other than his firearm. And then he also had backup with him, with no one inside the premise other than this woman. And then the situation distance from him and the individual. There was we're going to say about at least 10 to 12 feet in between them. You see what I'm saying? So it was 10 to 12 feet along with, the countertop. So then he actually said out of his mouth, "Oh no, the hell you wouldn't." So you didn't try to de-escalate the situation. You escalated it. You didn't even know what she was talking about. You just heard, "I rebuke you in the name of Jesus." She didn't say, "I'm going to fucking throw something on you." She said, "I just rebuke you in the name of Jesus."
Even me and Joe Brown would agree that when she said that the first time, she was looking at the boiling water and was saying it because she didn't want the officer supposedly hurt, but because he backed off while she was in the kitchen turning off the stove, and when she removed the pot, that's when he backed off. I'm like, what are you backing off for?
Well,
and that's when she asked the question, like, what's wrong?
Yeah. So in that situation now, there's nothing wrong with making sure, because you want to create a safe distance away from people when dealing with those type of situations. Regardless, that's just proper protocol as far as dealing with law enforcement. Now, the
Yeah.
other situation with that is after she stated, here's actual dialogue between the two. Once again, this is not, you're not talking to an insurgent. You're not talking to the daggone Al Qaeda or some other military terroristic force. You're talking
I
to
know where you're going.
a
Where you're going.
person, the person that you are serving, and you're going to say, you're going to tell her what you're about to do to her. I'm going to shoot you in your fucking face. So when you tell somebody that, that means you essentially say, I am about to kill you. That's basically what he said, just in different words.
Yes.
I am about to kill you.
Yes.
So all of that should be taken account. And then the very fact that he dead-eyed did it. He did exactly what he said he was going to do. And for that, to execute and to terminate completely. Yeah, there's no going back. It wasn't no put down. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
So all of that in consideration, and then the other guy, you could tell he was scared. He was like, "Whoa, let me go try to get something." He said, "No, she's dead." So then you didn't want no aid at all.
Correct.
Regardless, you wanted her to expire on that floor, and then let alone if he said what you said, crazy bitch.
Correct.
All of that, from all of that I gained, the information, this guy should definitely not be able to get out of jail.
Mm-hmm.
And then the police force itself needs to be held liable for all this, for however long he been employed by that police force, and then the damages to that person's family. I don't care if she ain't got nobody. Find somebody to give some money to. Find somebody.
I wouldn't be shocked if his bond was taken away, but then again, I wouldn't be shocked. Okay.
So, yeah, it's a terrible thing, man. It's sad that this type of situation has happened. I'm very impartial and objective when it comes to these situations. Once again, I do not see color. I see right and wrong, and clearly, that's why I broke it down systematically. This guy was, in every sense of the way, wrong.
Okay, so I have the thing queued up where me, Abby, and Adams we're watching it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, where is it at?
Seen it, but I just assumed so.
Oh, okay. There we go.
Nobody's out here. Nope. Check the whole area. It'll take you so long to answer the door.
Oh, I was trying to put on some clothes, sir. I'm sorry. I was trying to get.
I got you. All right. Is there anything else we can do for you?
Huh?
Is there anything else I can do for you?
Mind you, it was diagnosed with a mental disorder and a kidney disease. So relatively, her relatives were saying that she could possibly kick the bucket within a few years anyway. But we will never know if there was going to be any treatment from this because of the simple fact that she is dead. Just want to make a note of that.
No, sir.
Okay. All right. You doing all right mentally?
Yes.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Okay. All right. That's not your black car though. SUV. Whose is it? You don't know if someone just parked it in your driveway
They brought it to my driveway.
and just left it?
I don't know where my ID is.
You just have that stack right there, maybe?
1 second.
Check on her.
Let me get this.
We don't need a fire while we're here.
Wait.
Oh,
Someone
this,
told
oh,
me.
I did hear about this. Oh,
Someone did
he's
tell me.
oh my gosh.
Your hot steaming water.
Away from my hot steaming water?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I heard about this.
That's where I got. I'll shoot you right in your face.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Drop the pot. Drop the pot. Drop the shots fired. Shots fired. Shots fired. Drop the pot.
Damn, what did she pick up?
It was hot of boiling water she had on the stove. Look how far away they were from her.
I was on. I'm gonna go get my kit.
I'm thinking she picked up a knife or a gun.
No,
Well,
it was a pot of water. She was cooking.
Oh my goodness.
God.
These fucking idiots.
And look, it's right to our feet too. God. You good? Okay. Well, I mean, you know, what else do we do?
What else could we do?
Hot boiling water to the face, and it already reached us.
So now he lying.
And it's on camera in the Peckerwood line.
Yeah, 1078. She's still breathing, but she's losing a lot of blood from the head.
Now they looking for a reason.
It's all on video.
Go get, hurry, get your med kit. I mean, there's not much we can do. We can at least try and stop the blood.
Is she dead?
So I read this. One of them was like, well, let me at least go get my med kit. And he was like, ain't much else we could do.
She's still gasping a little bit. We got EMS coming. House is cleared. She was the only one. Where's the gun? No, she had boiling water and came at me with boiling water. You shot her? Yeah.
Came at her. Came at him.
Rebuke me in the name of Jesus and came out with boiling water. That's what all this is. I was standing right here. All right. That's where she's laying.
I didn't even see her charging on boiling water. Did you?
No. He's making that.
There you go. There you have it. Now, like I said, there are at least 3 or 4 videos of this out. Right. And apparently there's some justification. Now, I heard the word lunge and I heard the word attack. Pretty much they're all the same thing. It's all the same thing. So whether she lunged at the guy, whether she said, I mean, it doesn't really matter. She didn't have a weapon of mass destruction. She didn't have a bomb. She didn't come at this dude like Al Qaeda. You know, the Asian people with the bombs strapped onto them or something like that. She had a pot in her hand because you yelled at her 3 times to put it on the ground. And when the reason why there was a jerking reaction is because the second officer had his gun out. And when he yelled the 3rd and final time, drop the pot, that's when he fired. Salute, salute, salute. That's when he fired his gun. And these people are justifying this. Truth. Have you seen Anton's video of him talking to some white supremacist? Truth. Drugs.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Did you see? Did you see? Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, did you see the video with him talking to some white guy about the situation?
Yeah, you talking about the one that just now that was blurred out, right?
No. I said Anton.
Oh, no, I did not.
Okay. This is now this is the thing I will give him props for. Is he saw what was, and again, people are often saying that she lunged at him with a pot of boiling water. Hey, Lisa, he lunged at him with a pot of boiling water, and we all said he lunged at who? She lunged at who while she was on the ground? Who did she lunge at? Between the aisle of where he was and the where the second officer was near the bedroom. Where was she gonna lunge this shit at? Where the hell did that go? Okay, right here.
Different perspective, does everybody automatically say, "Are you justifying the shooting?"
Be more specific. Give me the real.
The Sonya Massey case.
Mm-hmm.
Why is it that if somebody says, look at it from a different perspective, why do people answer to that, respond to that with, "Are you justifying the shooting?"
I can't talk for people. I can only talk for myself. So you got to be specific. What's the gripe that you have with what I said, and then I'll address it. I'll address it directly.
Because I think that I watched your show this morning, and I felt like the passion that you
felt
really
like
no. I felt the passion that you had in what you were your stance on that whole situation. I was like, wow. And I was thinking, I know from watching you regularly, you like to deep dive and like find out everything before coming to a conclusion, but it really seemed to me like you were jumping to conclusions. And
did you see the show that I did the day before that I actually reviewed the actual video?
But the video that you're reviewing is the same video that mainstream media is showing.
Mm-hmm.
And you have an email
because
that shows
I have to limit what I can show on YouTube.
Oh no, I understand that about YouTube. Yeah,
I did watch all of the different videos. Every single video that I can get my hands on, I watched it. Okay. The one that I showed to YouTube to the audience was the one that I knew that was safe, that I wouldn't have to get it censored for 18 and up and get it yellowed and all of that stuff. So the context is that I did watch all of it, and I did do my research, and I did consider it from other angles.
You didn't watch this one?
No, I didn't see this one.
Damn.
Other aspect of it is that what I spoke to or what I displayed to the people, because the assumption is that you guys watched it on your own because it was already out before I reviewed it anyway. I was speaking only to what I was showing on the video, but in reality, I have watched it. I watched it on all angles.
So you saw the body cam footage from the shooting officer?
I saw everything, yes. And I even seen the ambulance come in and all of that stuff. I've seen all of that.
All right, because I sent you an email with the video clip from his body cam, because he eventually does turn his body cam on.
He does. So yeah, he does turn it on, but it was not originally on.
Right. So
okay. So what is the disagreement?
Okay. Well, I had a couple of issues with what I was hearing this morning, and I was just thinking, why are you like saying all this stuff about there was a demon in that cop? If you watch everything, literally those cops are ready to leave, and then one of them saw the broken glass on a car. They just wanted to know, hey, who broke the glass on the car? The way I was looking at it was, this woman is either on something or has mental health issues, because from the minute she came to the door, when they were there to tell her that they didn't see any prowler, when she came to the door, she kept saying, God, please, God, please. And the cop asked her, what's wrong? And she said nothing. And then after saying nothing, she went back to saying, God, please, and kept saying nothing.
So what? Wait. I don't care. Listen, I deal with people that have mental health issues every single day. Every day. And when I say that, I'm telling you that my office is 1 block away from
Your child needs these 3 key factors to get into an Ivy League or top 25 university.
the mental health and services office, where a lot of the people that are deranged, homeless, on drugs and everything like that go to it. And so I deal with these people, and anybody that lives in any metropolitan downtown area deals with these people on a regular basis. They scream, they go crazy, they act extra, they over dramatic. Most of the time they just hungry and they want some more drugs or whatever. But the reality is that most police officers are used to seeing and dealing with this on a regular basis. Regardless of how deranged you think that she is because of what she was saying, it's not one thing that she did that would show herself to be a threat to anybody's life that would cause or that would justify a police officer shooting her in the face. Is nothing that she did. Is nothing that. Listen. It's nothing, not one thing that she did. And I'm assuming that police officers deal with more than what I see on a regular basis. It's not one thing that she did that would justify her getting shot in the face. It's nothing that y'all can tell me that's going to justify it. And I looked at it from every single angle for every video that I can find.
And I started this conversation by saying, why do you jump to the conclusion that people are trying to justify the shooting when they're just saying, look at things from a different angle?
Because people are literally telling me that, and I reviewed a video and I put it on the
I'm not telling you
channel.
that.
Hold on, wait. I'm not saying you. You called me and said, why are you saying that people are saying? And so stop making it specific to you. I reviewed a video today that I put up there of a white girl that tried to justify the logic that she had a weapon in her hand because the hot water was considered a weapon. And that justified her getting shot in the face. That's bullshit. And so I hear it from all different angles. I see it in comments. I see people sending me DMs. I see it on TikTok of people trying to make sense of it. And the reality of it is, I believe that he was angling for it and he was looking, and it was all, and spirituality plays a huge role, whether y'all want to acknowledge it or not. Then that's one of the reasons why I said that I think that it was a demon in that man. 100%. Because he had his hand on his weapon. He had his hand on his weapon when she was saying, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. He already had, and he
But
told
she
her,
doesn't have any reason to say that.
He told her what he was going to do to her, and he executed. He said,
Okay,
I swear I will shoot you in the face. That's exactly what he did.
Go ahead.
So I'm not surprised. I mean, I'm surprised he went to that angle because that was the next step I was going to go. That's the and one thing about people is, again, it's levels to this stuff, man. You know, many are called, a few are chosen, and it's a thing. A lot of people like to use one of these buzzwords called discernment, and not understand what discernment actually is. And I believe that as well. I believe the spirit inside of her recognized exactly what the hell he is. And both of the spirits had a conversation. I'm gonna go take a step further. You said that she had some physical medical problems other than her mental illness, correct?
That is correct.
I'm gonna show y'all something. This probably will go over y'all head. I believe, this is what I believe, based off of everything. Y'all was watching an actual identification between two spirits, and that man absolutely had a demon. And I'm gonna give you an identifier that he had a demon after I finish this. That man absolutely had a demon inside of him. That demon got mad because she said, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus.
Yes.
So that thing came forth. It angered it and it came forth. It came forth, and it wasn't nothing that man could do about it, because that man had got integrated and had allowed that that demon inside of him. He wanted to go that route, so he allowed his heart to harden, and that thing took completely over him and executed that woman. Now, that the reason why that thing was allowed, if people want to ask why they allowed to happen, allowed that to happen, because that body was, if you're correct about her physical state, that she has some severe health problems already going on. That very well mean it could be a situation where she instantly went out of here. She did not suffer. He executed. He shot a 3, which is cleanly getting up out of here. She probably didn't feel anything. And that woman right now, probably so, is in heaven right now to this day, right as we speak, with God. He got up out of here. He got her, no more pain and suffering. And that daggone demon executed that woman. That's what I firmly believe in. And if you go to the body cam camera, brother, you will see this man had a big tattoo on his arm.
Oh yes.
Look up that symbol, and you'll see.
We did.
Oh, y'all did?
We did. Mm-hmm.
My man. So you was on it the whole time.
Most Ku Klux Klan especially, but skinheads often wear different symbolisms and different tattoos of that same symbol. They're all different, but they're the same exact identification. The same exact ones. The same exact ones. Skull, the three skulls symbolizes death. There's a couple of skinheads that I looked up. They had the same skull symbolisms on their backs. One of them was a lightning bolt. Yeah. The other one was what did she say? Was he a lone wolf? I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
He was by himself. The other guy, he was not integrated. He did not have any.
Hmm. And also the other cop as well had the exact same identical symbol. The exact same symbol. So
I will have to see it on the other guy. You got a picture of that one?
It's on the second camera.
Yeah, I would have to see. It.
Okay. Well, let me finish this up. This is funny.
Yeah.
It's not funny. It's not funny, but it's funny.
No, it's amazing and it's enlightening. And I'm surprised. Very surprised he actually went that route. But praise God.
Yeah, me too.
Anton,
that's exactly
keep the timeline. Keep the timeline, though.
No. I don't give a fuck about no timeline. You don't tell somebody you're gonna shoot him in the face. A 5'2", 110-pound woman, I will shoot you in the fucking face. You a police officer, and she showed no. She
yes. Okay.
I'll shoot you in the fucking face. What he has his whole. What the fuck to do?
I agree that cops saw shit.
This thing is Borgen, like I don't know what. Is it Borgen on your end?
Huh?
It's Borgen.
No, that's not Borgen on my end.
It's not?
No.
Oh. Try to play it now because it was going in and out.
No. That's 5'2", small ass woman in her own home who they never.
Hold on. No. You don't
justify this. This man should be under the jail. That dude is wrong.
He just did what I said.
He's wrong.
Just
no
She
reason
should be
why
you
she
went
should
out.
not be alive,
But why are you saying that when somebody
alive?
It's gonna do that, but
Yeah, see,
I'll fix it.
that's what I was trying to tell you. It was Borg and stuff.
Oh, no. I'll just go back a few pages. Oh, my bad.
No way in the world that y'all can sit here and try to make sense of it. That woman should be alive today. There's no
She
reason
should be
why she
alive.
should not be alive,
But
uninjured.
why are you saying that when somebody
alive,
ducks down?
uninjured, and there's no reason why he should have shot her in the face, bro.
I still want to know why telling her to turn off the stove so it doesn't cause a fire had her saying, "I rebuke you in the name of Jesus."
I don't care what she say. I've seen people.
You got mad about that? You got mad that she said Jesus, didn't you? Y'all demons hate that daggone name. Y'all hate that name, don't you? Hey, that's another demon right there, right now. That's what we're talking to. Why would she say that name?
Wait. It gets interesting. Hold on.
It's not.
God dang it. Hold on. Commercial.
Why would she say that name?
Not a word in the world, unless she said,
That's
"I'm gonna
recorded
kill you."
public
No.
opinion.
Unless she said, "I'm gonna kill you," and I got a bomb in the other room ready to go off. A woman saying, "I rebuke you in the name of Jesus." I seen people practically spit in a cop's face, and he restrained himself. I seen people in protest during Black Lives Matters was ready to beat the fuck out of a cop, and they ain't do shit to her. But a 5'2" woman inside of her own house who called you for help. You telling me that her saying "I rebuke you in the name of Jesus" is supposed to be some kind of justification as to why it is that he can put his hand on his weapon? Get the fuck out of here, man. That's crazy. Y'all out of y'all mind, bro. Don't tell me that, because that tells me if you unable to be able to deal with somebody that verbally says something that like I rebuke you in the name of Jesus, you shouldn't have a badge in the fucking first place. You should not have a badge if you can't handle a woman telling you that I rebuke you in the name of Jesus.
But the question is, what made her say that to him?
I
They
don't
weren't
care
doing
what made her
anything
say
to her.
that. She should
Look,
be
he
alive.
keep asking for that. That's a demon.
Wow.
I don't care what I don't care what
That's
made her
another
say she should be
demon.
alive. It's no word that she
everywhere
said that will cause her to get shot in the face at all.
But the way you're coming at it, you're making it sound like as if he threatened her first and then
He did.
she rebuked
He
him.
said, "I swear
No,
to God,
he
I'll
didn't.
shoot you." He did. He said, "I swear to God, I'll shoot
If
you in
I
the
saw,
fucking face."
listen, if you saw somebody
it ain't
coming,
one
if you
threat
saw
that she
somebody
said to him.
coming closer to you,
It's not
behind
one
their
threat.
counter with a
It's
pot
not
of boiling
one
hot
threat.
water.
It's not one threat that she said to that man that would warrant him to say, "I
She
swear
said
to
the
God."
rebuke part before he said that.
That doesn't mean that you can tell somebody that "I swear to God, I'll shoot you in the fucking face."
His language was out of line, Anton. We can agree his language was out of line.
Y'all evil in this world. You sitting here arguing
that's
with
an
me
evil
of a
demon
woman
right
that
there.
called on her God because she felt like she was under duress. That would then warn the man.
That's right.
I swear to God,
What? If
That's
you
right.
watch the video,
because
he
she
did
got a
nothing
fucking
to have her be under
She got a
duress.
6'4", 270-pound
I
man
don't
with
care
his
if
hand
it's
on his
so you're
weapon,
telling me a
saying that "I'll
midget
shoot
can't
you in
commit
the
a
fucking
crime?
face."
If the
That's
cop is
evil.
uncertain, what do we do when we get pulled over? We know we have to put our hands on the steering wheel so the cop can see our hands. Yes or no?
No. None of it warned
So a
her.
cop doesn't have to see our hands.
No.
So if
none
I
of it
duck down
warranted-
behind my counter
I
when
don't
I
care
got two
what you
cops
say.
in my house,
Listen,
they're supposed to be like, "Oh, he's not doing anything."
This shows. And
What?
listen, I don't give a fuck.
Why don't
what
you actually
said.
ask a cop? Why don't you actually ask a police
I don't have
officer
to
come
ask
up
a
and
cop.
tell you?
I don't have to ask a cop. I know.
What?
I know what being a human.
Okay. Asking a cop. Okay. Asking the cop. Guess what? There was a white female police officer that she even said she was embarrassed to be in the police force. She, a white police officer, a female, was embarrassed to be on the police force. Yeah, I got you, Meredith. I got you. That's what she said. She said that the cops won't speak up and blah 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 and so on and so forth. And she went on a long ass diatribe.
Oh, I'm definitely I'm definitely doing something about this because this is incredible.
Yeah,
Human is, and you niggas ain't human. Y'all are evil. if
See,
you
now
in
you
any way,
sound
shape,
just
or
as
form,
crazy as
you
she
here
is saying
arguing.
rebuke you in the
I
name of
have,
Jesus for no reason.
I rebuke you in the
Now
name
there
of
could have been
Jesus
a couple
because
of
you
things.
evil. You need to be better.
Hey, from here on in, I ain't gonna get mad at people no more. I'm just gonna say I rebuke you in the name of Jesus.
Yep.
And see if you come out.
Yep. That's real talk.
When Auntie does the purse
That's real
next
talk.
year,
It's going to make them come to the surface. Now, it only makes them come to the surface if your spirit don't match the other spirit. Now, if it match the other spirit, it's going to be like, oh, that's my brother.
most likely.
Okay, sure. The whole world is evil, Anton. Everybody's evil except for you.
No,
of course.
you need no. I rebuke
now,
you in the name
she
of
could have
Jesus.
she could have either had
need to be
mental health
baptized,
issues,
and you need
or
a whole
she could have been on
mindset.
something.
You need to be baptized, and you need a whole new mindset. I rebuke your spirit in the name of Jesus.
So you're a psychic that knows about my religious upbringing. Okay,
no, I'm listening to you right now, and you evil.
Yeah, you're listening to me. You would never fly in a courtroom. Holy crap! Don't ever be a defense attorney. Be a prosecutor.
I don't need to. I don't do crime, so I'm not in court.
Well, you don't want to hear a different perspective.
I heard you
like what led up to this? What was wrong with?
I heard you, and I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. How about that?
You sound crazy. How about that?
No, you sound crazy.
No, I
you
don't
trying
sound
to justify
crazy. I sound
a woman
logical.
getting shot in the face.
I just said to you, she doesn't need to be dead right now. But you're literally saying that a cop does not need to see where somebody's hands are when they duck down behind.
Now listen to this question that Anton presents. Just listen.
A counter.
Let me tell you
if I ducked down behind a counter, I would expect the police officer that's in my house at the time to not know what the fuck I'm about to do or grab.
You know what's so funny? She was ducking down under the counter because she was trying to dodge a fucking bullet.
If you're looking for a school that is 100% online, offers low cost tuition, and has over 130.
He didn't shoot yet.
See, he always leaves when stuff like this gets juicy. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Damn, I need a. He always leaves when stuff like this gets juicy. Just remember the question that is being asked by Anton. Go ahead.
He already had his hands pointed at her, and he had the gun in her face. What's wrong with you?
And she had a pot of boiling hot water. You want to get
wait. You know what's so funny about
this? She's about to baptize him with some boiling hot water, sear the skin right off his face.
Get the fuck out of here. Y'all just talking. You know what's so funny?
Well, just talking.
You know what's so funny about this whole thing? Is
Anton's court of public opinion.
That's correct. That's why it's called the Anton Daniel Show. You know what's the beautiful part about it is that if it was your mother, you would have a completely different perspective.
Yep.
No way in the world you would be sitting because y'all want to tell.
So that's the way to do it. That's the way to corner somebody and say if it was somebody you were related to.
Don't interrupt me. Don't interrupt me because you want me to look at it from a different perspective. Now put yourself in the shoes in that's your mother. Imagine that's your mother, and she called somebody, and she called the police because she felt like it was an intruder, and then eventually, for whatever reason, they end up inside of her house. And she is a spiritual woman, and she spots something that she don't agree with, and she say, "I rebuke you in the name of Jesus." And somebody tells her, "Imagine me as a police officer in your mama house saying, I swear to God, I'll shoot you in the fucking face. You better not rebuke me." Do you think that is a logical thing for me to do to your mother?
Imagine me watching a video of my mother.
Answer the question.
Watching a video of my. You want me to answer or you don't want me to answer? You want me to say what you want?
I want to hear the answer, and then I want to hear the context.
I'm giving you the answer.
No, I want to hear. Is it logical for me to do that?
If you let me, if you allow me to talk, since you like to have
I'm not going to allow you to say shit. Either you gonna answer the question and then add the context, or not. But either way, that's up to you.
You see, you can't jump to the conclusion without going through the context.
Is it logical or not? I got a gun in your mama's face.
Not when you have the timeline fucked up. No.
So you saying that if your mother was in that situation,
if my
it would be justified for me to shoot her in the
that shit that she was going to rebuke him with a boiling pot of hot water and she ended up getting shot, I would be really fucking pissed off that my mother's dead. But I'd also wonder what the fuck was my mother rebuking? Nothing was happening except asking for an identification card.
Listen. We can agree to disagree. but I think that you did wrong, and I rebuke you in the name of Jesus.
That's fine. You can rebuke all you want.
They're gonna keep going on and on and on. So, but he is right. He is correct. Now, let's go back to Mr. Tatum and his bullshit, shall we? Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Like, share, subscribe to the channel. If you can, if it's in your tutelage, your purses, wallets, bank accounts. If you could send me $1 for some coffee. I need some coffee. I need coffee. I need to go to 7-Eleven and get some coffee so I can wake up and do my daily chores for the day. $1 a day keeps the frustration away. I need to clear my laptop. That's what I need to do.
He has a self-defense argument in the court of law.
That's screaming at.
I have to stay vigilant.
They tried to say her to drop a pot she is not holding. We have the evidence. Okay, on this because I'm sure he has something to say. Officer, what say you?
Well, it's interesting. You know, you can't legislate morality. That's for certain. But I'm in all of this. I'm still trying to understand why they're inside the house. It makes no sense to me. If the original call was for a burglar or a suspected prowler, once they've ascertained that that's not the case, why do they need to go inside? They already know that she possibly has mental health issues. To my mind, to my way of thinking, once they established they've satisfied the requirements of the original call, you check on her, ask if she's all right. It's time to code the call to go back in service.
There's a dispute, obviously, of her malicious intent. I don't think there was any malicious intent whatsoever. I believe this woman was in fear of her life. I think she was being told very confusing things in a confused state. And she was then shot and killed. Officer Tatum, I want to go back to you and pose some questions that other cops have posed, similar to what you just heard. There's a white female cop who went on record pretty quickly in uniform and talked about how this officer in particular should have never been a cop, and then she gets into the conduct after this happened. Tatum, why did he lie to his colleagues?
You're talking about in the former incident?
Well, he's been lying. I'm not even talking about the other incidents where we know he lied on police reports, which is official misconduct, violation of oath of office, etc. I'm talking about this time. As soon as his colleagues arrived, he told a narrative of an aggressive, violent individual. As a matter of fact, he said she was a crazy B word. All right? That's unprofessional, naturally, but it goes to his state of mind, your brother. In a court of law, that goes to state of mind. If you believe you're dealing with a crazy B word rather than a person experiencing either be a possible.
Well, I don't think that's going to end up being relevant in this case, but I do think it was reprehensible for someone.
Why don't you think it's relevant in this case when it's already been deemed relevant? That's why
it's not going to be relevant. They indicted him, in my opinion, because they wanted to stop the riots from happening. They didn't want people to lose their mind over this shooting that was very emotional. In the court of law, this is going to be a self-defense argument. So Grayson is going to argue that he acted in self-defense, and that's the only thing that's going to be on the table. His previous
Why didn't his
behavior
partner respond the same way then?
Well, I think first of all, their tactics were terrible. His partner was in a very difficult position to do anything. He almost shot Grayson in the back. So these cops had a lot of things that they did incorrectly, and their tactics were horrible. And I think that's why both of them didn't respond in the same manner. But I think there's going to be a self-defense argument. That's what I'm saying in the court. Not what I feel, not what anybody else thinks, not how horrible this was. It was sad to see the woman lose her life like that.
Of course he's going to make a self-defense argument if he's pleading not guilty.
No, but that's going to be the argument. Is he's going to argue self-defense, and the prosecution is going to have to prove that he wasn't acting in self-defense beyond a reasonable doubt.
Yeah, we know that.
I think that the burden of proof is not going to be. They're not going to be sufficient in this, given the fact
that's
that
why we have fact checkers called jury members. But let me get this correct. Tatum, you're saying that these cops did everything wrong. They broke protocol. They are bad cops. You don't agree with their actions, but the only thing they got right was killing that woman.
No, that's not what I'm saying whatsoever.
That's basically what you're saying.
I don't think that both cops did everything wrong. I think that Grayson did a lot of things wrong. I would have liked to have seen him de-escalate in that situation. I would have liked to have seen, him do a lot of things differently. Even after he shot her, I would like to see them at least give an attempt to render aid, even though they wasn't going to be able to
once again,
properly render aid. But I think that being a bad cop doesn't mean that you're not justified in defending yourself against a person hurling boiling water. I think that's what it's going to end up coming down to.
Yeah, I didn't see a hurling of boiling water.
He did. I sent your staff the video that I did. I think we're sending over now. It's a video that I did where I put it in slow motion and I show the trajectory of the pod and the way the water went out and it hit a table. It hit like a chair and the floor. And so you can see that the water was hurled and propelled in their direction. And that's when he pulled the trigger and shot her. Listen,
we have to stop the video because, of course, Helen comes in every single time, and I need some water, I need some coffee and water my damn self because I feel like my throat is getting kind of dry. But dear, you are a lightsaber. Bless you. Bless you. Here's your song.
That's ISO?
Rack it up, I gotta build up the bank to make me a safe house. Shake it up, she got her hands on her knees and she bringing the cake out. Smoke it up, I got some gas, some packs, I'm up in the greenhouse. Ball it up, I'm with the gang, we taking shots off the rebound. Fucking my posters, say now, I've been humble too long, yeah. Tell them all to stay calm, yeah. Tell them all to move on, yeah. Fucking my posters, say now, they be lost in the sauce, yeah. Took a loss, that's your loss, yeah. Had to get my point across, yeah. Heard them lanes was talking that and we don't pay that no mind. Didn't need to watch them know that I'll be.
Thank you, Helen, my love, for the $11 Cash App. And let's continue with this mind-boggling of a piece of Yeah, I was gonna say him and Candace Owens got something. It's not just him. It's not just him and her. But I haven't even gotten on her ass yet. I have not even gotten on that soft little ass yet. But she is tempting me. She's tempting me. She really, really is.
If she hadn't thrown that water, I think that these cops would, well, at least the Grayson would have not have been justified, and he would have. But I think when she threw that justified, and he would have justified, and he would have. I think that these cops would, well, at least the Grayson would have not have been justified, and he would have gotten charged correctly. But I think when she threw that water justified, and he would have gotten charged correctly. But I think when she threw that water, he's justified, and he would have gotten charged correctly. But I think when she threw that water, he's going to have a
charged correctly. I think we should be aiming for first-degree murder, don't you think? First-degree murder and voluntary and manslaughter. First-degree murder and manslaughter, of course. Not second-degree, but first-degree murder. Put a 1 in the chat if you think that the incident, which started a week ago, a week and a half ago, does that justify first-degree murder? First-degree murder and manslaughter, or second-degree murder and then manslaughter.
Justification in the necessity to use deadly force in his self-defense, the defense
I
of
got to go to
himself and his
Officer
partner.
Taylor. Officer Taylor, what say you to that?
Well, I understand the law and I understand self-defense. And, you know, every day in this country, officers respond to these sort of calls. And I've never heard of hot water being used as a weapon that justifies the use of deadly force. To my way of thinking, they could have mitigated the whole thing. Number one, they didn't have to be inside the residence with her. That's number one. Number two, if they were going to be in the residence, you've got an officer primary and you got a backup officer. If you're so concerned about the possibility of a fire breaking out, and you have this woman who you've already established has mental issues, she's seated. Why not have your partner go and turn the pot off? If it's that big of a deal. Again, I still don't understand why they were both inside the residence asking for her ID.
I can explain.
They're trying to run her for warrants or whatever.
I can explain that. I can explain that. I agree with you that when you look at it after the fact, there's some things that I wish that they would have done differently. But it wasn't unlawful to be in her house at the time of this incident.
Unlawful? I'm not going to keep going into that.
It seems that when they first engaged with her, it was a call the night before of her struggling with mental illness. That's why Officer Grayson, Deputy Grayson asked her, was she still struggling with mental illness, because she was kind of being erratic. So on a call that's a prowler call, you have the right to investigate.
She was being erratic because she kept screaming, Jesus, Jesus, Jesus? Because she kept saying, oh Lord Jesus, oh Lord Jesus, oh Lord Jesus. These are some funny people. These are some funny individuals. No wonder most of his subscribers are white. Most of his subscribers, ladies and gentlemen, are white. He has 3 million subscribers, and most of those subscribers are white subscribers. His white is white. What does it matter in this? What does it matter in this instance? It matters a lot, because I have not heard anyone. Well, you know what? I'm not going to even go there. I'm not going to even go there, because it's not about me. It's not about me. It's not about anyone in particular. This is about her and everyone else who has been a victim over the past couple of months. If you go to my live again, what was it when the rally one, the one where I was at the rally, when I was at the rally last week, I did an actual live stream of the rally. You can see the rally of Representative Sonya Massey, where everyone came together at that point, and everyone said, even white people were there, and they even stated that this was wrong. They stated that this was wrong. I have never seen white people flock in droves before coming to a black rally, where you had the Israelites there, the Muslims, the NAACP, who else? God dang it. Muslims, Israelites, NAACP, and the Black Panthers. So all that were there, right? And even these crazy looking white people. I opened the third eye. I was like, what the hell is going on? But the person, believe it or not, the person who helped gather this rally together was a white woman, was an elderly white woman. I don't know who she is. All I know is she and a couple other people represented that school or library or whatever. I need to go back to, I don't live on the north side of town. I live on the south side of town. So I had to drive all the way to the north side, right? And they're doing another one today, and I don't think I'll be able to make it today. But yeah, it was a sight to see. But the fact of the matter is she was innocent, y'all. Truth, Abby, me, Truth, Abby, Adam, and some other people. Basically, all of you were saying he was right. We were all right that there are evil spirits out there. And maybe, and I often said this, maybe we need to turn back to God a little bit more often. I mean, it's not too late. And then things can be revered. I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna shut up. You remember the eclipse? Those of you who live on the east coast of town, right? On that specific side of town, between I think Arkansas, all the way up to I think Maine, because it covers Michigan and it covers Wisconsin, Ohio, Cincinnati, blah 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 blah, whatever. On that specific side of town when you guys had y'all full eclipse, right? When you guys had y'all full eclipse, didn't you sense a change afterwards? People started revealing things. People started waking up and things were revealed over time. It's a sense of ability. It's a sense of thinking. People start revealing who they are. You saw the Diddy tape, right? Of him beating the crap out of Cassie. You saw there's a whole bunch of shit that you seen. And then, of course, I'm tripping off the girl's name. I'm tripping off of the woman's name. What is her? Hold on. I got to remember her name. Hold on. I think she's on right now. Oh, never mind. I'm going to continue.
Investigate the call and get information from the person who's calling so that you can rectify it, because she did.
Jaguar Wright. Remember when Jaguar Wright started revealing stuff and people kept calling her crazy, right? And the things that she was saying led to be truthful. I think we need to start listening to ourselves. Once we get right, once we start seeing stuff for what it really is in life right about now, because truth be told, the days of old are over. They're over. Pretty soon you're gonna have to pack up and move to an island somewhere where you're gonna be producing your own food. Because guess what? All the money is gonna be gone, and it's nothing gonna be. It's a digital world. It's a digital world, and we're just gonna have to face up to it. It's a digital world, and we're gonna be having chips. We're gonna have chips placed in our right hand. And what does the Bible state about having chips or having to purchase and wearing symbols in our right hand? What does the Bible state, Lisa? I'll wait.
It seemed like she was struggling from a mental illness encounter. She was also on the phone with another deputy. It seemed like they were trying to get her mental illness situation, I guess, put into check, which everything was going fine. They were having a reasonable conversation. They were laughing and joking. Even when she went to the stove, they kind of were joking before she said, "I rebuke you in the name of Jesus." And so I think that that's where the storyline is going to go in the court of law. They're going to say that everything was fine. Nobody was being intense. Nobody was violating laws. They were acting within the color of their authority.
Those fake ads really drive you mad, huh? The game looks so fun in the ads, but when you
authority, she didn't ask them to leave the house. She didn't say that she felt threatened by them at any point. And everything was fine until she got to the stove. And I'll just give an example of the stove situation. Looking back on it, I think they should have probably asked her. This is what I would have done if I was in a situation, because I don't want her to think I'm overstepping her bounds, and I do want to be cautious to her own living space. So I would have asked her, "Ma'am, would you mind if I turn your stove off? Because it seems like it's going to catch on fire if we don't do something about it." I do understand how an officer.
I said, Lisa, I said, what does the Bible state when the Antichrist comes and you can no longer pay, you can no longer use money? Your money is no good. And if you accept the chip that they're going to be placing in your right hand pretty soon. I know, because it happened in Switzerland, in Sweden. I mean, what does the Bible state? My question is, what does the Bible state when you accept things within your right hand or in your forehead? This is in the book of Revelations. This is in the book of Revelations.
So wouldn't want to overstep their bounds and try to start turning stuff off in her house and messing with her appliances. In a reasonable situation, if she'd have went over there and turned the fire off and went back to sit down, that's what everybody would have liked to have seen happen. But it didn't end up that way.
Officer Tatum, I'm going to respond to that, then go to our co-panelist. So the argument is interesting, the contrast between both of you, because Tatum, you're basically arguing that this is within the statutory framework of law. Now, the reason why
the shooting, only
right,
the shooting.
You're saying that's your argument. The argument that you're making is that this happened within the statutory framework of what is legally allowable, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Now, here's the problem with that. If you believe that laws equate to morality, dear brother, that means you would have to believe that when it was law that Black people could not sit where they wanted to sit on the bus, that law equated to morality. When Black people could not frequent establishments, could not have the freedom to assemble or the right and access to vote, that was law. That equated to morality. My point to you is, you do not judge, or at least for men like myself, I do not judge a statute or the framework.
Bing, 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 ding, 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 ding. Correct, Bridge.
Of a judicial ruling in order to determine my morality and ethics as it comes, when it comes to people. In addition to that, you're making an argument for the worst among us in policing. And you admit you did not like anything they did. You didn't like none of it. But brother, I hate to bring this home, man. Your mama living, Officer Tatum? Is your mama living?
Yeah, my mama alive.
My mother is not. If somebody did your mother that way in uniform, would you come on my show and defend them?
I'm not defending.
Yes, y'all do, brother. Come on, man.
As if, no, listen, people saying like I'm defending it. Like
would
I'm
you
defending
say
this
what
officer.
you're saying?
I'm
if
saying
this was your mother,
I would say the same thing.
This way,
I would say the same thing because I'm going off of what the law says. I don't.
You would say
I don't
if they
like
killed your mama.
If this officer shot my mother after she threw a pot of boiling water at him,
going through a mental health episode, they did not follow protocol. They did not.
This is the part that pissed me off. He doesn't care. He doesn't care about anything other than himself and his white bitch. He doesn't care about anyone. He doesn't care about any of you. He doesn't care what the law states, what the law says. I often said, and I said it earlier ago, it's good to know the law, but it's not going to oversee my life. This dude's a fucking joke. A woman is dead because of non-caring. The police, depending on who we are, because I can't put it on everyone. Depending on who you send out. Now, me and another person, we said, well, it would have been impossible if Sonya would have called and asked and requested a female officer. Why, if they knew who this person was, male or female, because they often know through voice, it's quite obvious. Why wasn't a female present? My mind is saying it probably would have made a difference, because let's just say the female officer would have been white. There would have been no difference, because they hate you just as worse. And this is the reason why I hate interracial relationships. Why the fuck are you in a interracial relationship in the first place? People should, and I'm not penny flowers on myself. People should be looking to me as well. Let me not say that. People should be looking towards this, and you don't even have to take my advice. Whenever you see a snow bunny, don't think of Umar. Think of me. No, don't think of Umar. Don't think of me. Think of Emmett Till. How's that? Oh, we often forgot about Emmett Till, right? We forgot what happened to Emmett Till, right? But who don't know? Who don't know about Emmett Till up in here? Who don't know about Emmett Till up in here? Raise your hand. Who don't know about Emmett Till? Anybody? Anyone? Do I have to do a whole segment on Emmett Till? And this white son of a bitch, yeah, he's done. He is done. He is done in the black. This coon is done. This white son of a bitch, clearly, he often would, I'll bet you 10 grand. This son of a bitch will often say to Emmett, he said, well, Emmett Till shouldn't have did what he did. All he should have done, if there were laws back then, he should have abided by the law and just kept his head down. He came from Chicago and was visiting his grandparents or aunt or whoever. He didn't know what was happening in the South. He was in Chicago. So they drove all the way to Chicago. The brothers of the white who was related to the white lady went after Crying Wolf, went all the way up to Chicago, grabbed the little boy, and we all know the story. And his mother had an open casket. If a 14-year-old boy can't smile at a white lady, what the fuck are you doing with a white lady on your arm? All of you are fucking traitors. All of you. If I see this little
escalate, you will still come on television in order to debate that they or that cop was still legally in the right.
I'm only debating the law. I don't care for this cop, and I don't think that he did everything right. I think that he would have been probably worse off if he would have shot her the way they've been perpetuating it out in the news, that if she was just standing by the stove, she put her hands up and homeboy shot her because he thought she would throw a pot of boiling water. I mean, he would go to prison for the rest of his life. What I'm saying is that things begin to change when a person throws a pot of boiling water at him. I would have liked to see him do things differently. I would be very upset if that was my mom. I would have been very upset. I wouldn't have liked. I'm upset that this woman lost her life. I don't think that this should have resulted in that. But the law will dictate certain things when it comes to self-defense. And boiling water is a deadly weapon because a person can get seriously injured, dismembered. I mean, not dismembered, but get seriously injured and disfigured for life.
Sir, it's not considered a deadly weapon. It
is a deadly weapon. According to Illinois law, a boiling pot of water is a deadly weapon.
No, it's not considered. It's considered. No, sir. Look at the ruling, sir. It's not considered.
I know the ruling says, Dr. Ritchie, the ruling says that the water was the deadly weapon and deadly force was justified in that scenario. However, they are arguing that he put himself in a situation that should not necessitate a deadly force. Let me just give you an example.
Brother, let me do this.
Let me just give this quick example real quick.
Tatum, I'm going to let you give me the example, dear brother. But I want you to understand the difference between a deadly weapon, which is categorized by instrumentation, and the use of deadly force. The court made the distinction. You see, the device or the pot itself is not a deadly weapon. They talked about what the officer subjectively believed was the deadly weapon. That was the contextualization of the court, not the category of the pot or of the boiling water. To Officer Taylor, I want you to respond to Tatum, and then we'll go back for Tatum's example. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, the law does provide for self-defense. For instance, in the case of an officer chasing an armed person, if that person is going to get to a position of cover and be able to return fire, and the officer is in the open, that officer is justified in shooting this person, okay? Because it's accepted that the officer, through no fault of their own, right, in the performance of their duty, is inadvertently placed in a position of severe disadvantage, right, which could result in severe injury or loss of life. That is mutually understood, it's universally understood. But also, saying that, it's also well known and universally accepted that if an officer is engaged in a gunfight with a person who places themselves in front of a group of citizens, to the extent that there's a possibility that if the officer returns fire, one of those citizens might be injured, then those are just rounds the officers has to eat. And this is basic. This is right out of the academy in Baltimore City, one of the most violent cities in the United States. It's known that if the person has a backdrop that's not safe, where the officer would take the risk of hitting someone, that officer's got to seek cover as best he can until the situation changes. This entire situation was manufactured. He manufactured these exigent circumstances, literally told the woman what he was going to do to her, and then did it. I don't understand any of it. I don't understand what argument he has. I don't understand it at all. I would not want to go to court with this argument. There's no way in the world I would want to do it. I think his partner was very uncomfortable. I think his partner was equally as confused. I mean, this is Derek Chauvin to the nth degree. This is crazy. This is madness.
Tatum?
So, yeah.
What's so interesting is when other people don't see these exact same sentiment. This goes on that people want to, I don't know if it's a YouTube thing. I don't know if it's a YouTube thing or whatever, but I know we're not together. Well, let me take that back. We are together. We truly are together. And I, I might have to come back for a part 2 to this tonight. I might have to come back. because my family just entered into the door. But we'll see what's going on. But we're more together now more than ever. You just don't know it yet. You just don't know it yet. What do you mean? What happened? Oh, she's just saying condolences and everything, but through all the lies, through all the deceitfulness, through all the demonic stuff that's going on, if the court doesn't see this, then justice is blind. Hell, justice has been blind. And we want to vote for who exactly? We want to vote for who exactly? We want to vote for Kamala Harris because you think Kamala Harris, you know what? I'm not going to even go there. You're free to vote for whoever you want to vote for. You're free to vote for whoever you want to vote for. Oh, I wasn't even reading that. Never mind. I was in my own little world. My bad. But here's the thing. All I'm asking is look at their policies and see if those policies make any sense. And they're going to go through horizontal pattern. They're going to go through horizontal issues. What is the vertical solution to every horizontal problem? And if they don't answer it in corrects to where it needs to be right at this point, because at this point we're more desperate more than ever. Rent is still high, prices are still high. Basically, insurance is going up, constantly going up. It's a game. People need money. People desire money, so prices are going to go up. And if prices are going to go up, guess what? Taxes. Has anybody got a chunk of their taxes taken away? Have they paid taxes? Or have you gotten a chunk of your tax back? Just ask yourself that question while you're looking at this.
Yeah, I just want to give the example. In the example that they're giving with this particular offense, they charge them with first-degree murder, which is intentional murder, and it's not going to hold up in court whatsoever. And I wish they would have charged him something a little more appropriate. The example that I was going to give was that.
Give me a more appropriate charge.
Well, I think he's going to be found innocent or not guilty because of the self-defense argument.
Because the initial they would have charged him with something more appropriate.
Well, I'm saying at least be reasonable, right?
But because what appropriate charge are you referring to in your mind?
Okay, so there's two arguments here. I think he's going to be justified, but that doesn't mean he can't be charged because people do have concerns about his behavior. I think that something more of, they could have gotten it for manslaughter, maybe second-degree murder, if they want to push it that far, would have been more reasonable. To charge him with first-degree murder is a burden that they're not going to have any chance at proving.
They still have an opportunity to add lesser.
Yeah, they have to try to prove premeditation, which is never going to happen in this case because everything was fine before she said, "I rebuke in the name of Jesus," while holding that pot of boiling water, which was the initial aggressive threat. Well, and so he used the threat of deadly force against her.
Let me correct something that you said. Okay. The murder statute he's charged under. Well, number one, lesser offenses can be added. I actually believe they will be. But the murder charge does not require premeditation in the sense that he went to the home in order to kill. It requires mens rea. And mens rea means that you knew or should have known that killing a woman who is ducking down on the floor in her home was a crime. You develop mens rea at that point, and that is the formation of charge. All right, go ahead, bro.
Well, that he would be guilty if that's what happened. We're all on the same page. If she crouched down and he just shot her because she had a pot next to her, he thought she was going to throw the pot, he would have had no chance in this case. But I think that when she picked the pot up for whatever reason, I still don't know why she would throw the pot at the guy.
Well,
but she picked.
He keeps going there. Like and share, subscribe to the channel. Like and share, subscribe to the channel. Dude, don't. I don't even know how. I don't even know how to say it. Let me go on camera real quick. At some point in time, we are going to have to start raising our voices to guys like this. I would do it all the time, all day, every day. Don't care who you are. Don't care where you've been. As soon as I seen that white woman on that, I said, "Oh, there it went." And he has the nerve to call out Umar Johnson for what? For what? And you said you want to debate him? You want to debate Umar Ifatunde? Ifatunde would eat your stupid ass alive. You delusional. You apparently know the law to an extent that you don't care who it. And the one thing that baffles me, you're doing this out of love. You're doing this out of love and an intention for other people, right? And you believe in God, right? So I often this is what he said. He says he is a man of the cloth, and he often would want people to come together in oneness. I would ask him, where was all of that during slavery? There were Christians then. There were white Christians hanging black Christians in trees. There were white Christians. I'm on my Umar kit. There were white Christians hanging black Christians from trees. I mean, and we often had to eat the leftovers that the white man has given us. Well, excuse me, not me particularly, because I was born here in America. I was born in Lansing, Michigan, but it's not like I have African features, Indian features, Jamaican features. Don't make me have to take that DNA test. And it's not like women had a choice anyway. They didn't have no choice. And this is what you want women to resort back to? These are Christians. These are Christians hanging other Christians from trees. Just saying. Just making a statement. Just making a statement. Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I ain't got a baby. We-On-Loc Nation. In your opinion, was the reason she threw the pot, here we go. The reason she threw the pot of water was for her own self-defense? Narratives, you want to answer that for him? Narratives, you want to answer that question for him? I'm kind of tired at this point.
Picked the pot up and threw it, and then when he shot her, he used deadly force against her.
You do know that his knowledge of the mental health crisis is going to be front and center in the prosecution.
That doesn't preclude him from defending himself.
Just give me a moment. What it does is it sets a parameter of protocols that must be followed in order to protect life. And
but it also justifies.
If you decide to not follow those protocols, you have willfully engaged.
No, but it also
in the violation of those protocols.
It also lends to the fact.
Hey, Helen, we gotta be nice now. We gotta be nice. We gotta be. We're deemed too emotional. Once we start calling them out for who they are, it's like, relax, You're thinking too emotional. Think rational. Think logical. If I can't think with all three, logical, emotion, with emotion, then I become a robot. I'm sorry. I'm not a robot. I'm not a cyborg. Okay. I am a human being with human flesh. You cut me, I bleed. If I have to end up like any of these military food, I'm so sorry if I said that. If I end up like these military people, right? I become a vegetable. I become something that I'm not. And I'm not saying not to disrespect the people in the military, because I have military in my family, but I'm not going to be that person. I'm not going to be that person that's a combat guy who has little to no soul at that point, if that makes any sense. Because once you're in the military, they're trying to take that humanity away from you. If you're lucky to come back to the real world, if you're lucky to keep your sanity, immortal. Thank you, immortal. If you're lucky to keep your sanity, then you've made it through. You made it through basic training. You made it through. If you had to go on tour, if you had to go to Vietnam, if you had to go on combat, if you had to do this, you had to do that, then you have absolutely made it. Not everybody makes it. Especially even in the police department. Not everybody makes it. I would never want to be that guy. Because I have a soul within me that's going to be intact. A black man has no business in a white man's military. Still sticking to that. The only way I'm going into the military is I have no other resort. No other resort at all. I'm not taking anything else if I have no other resort at all.
Act of her being very unstable and making that furtive action without any kind of signs or anything before that. So
that's not
they're
true.
gonna that is because
true.
of she
was
had a
when he said
she was crazy. No. When he said she was crazy, that sound bad for him to say it, but it was true because she may have been going through a psychotic episode, and
but see,
I don't
brother,
know what
that's the point.
That's what they're going to make that point in the court of law.
That's crazy. Brother, that's not crazy, brother.
For somebody to be talking normal and you engaging in a normal conversation.
You don't talk normal. The hell you talking about? Tatum, you're crazy, Tatum. She was sick. She was going through a mental health crisis. She needed a doctor, brother.
Which is
you
fine.
are crazy. You sound crazy. You always do.
No,
all right, brother. Let me go. I said I wasn't going to do this. I said I wasn't going to do this.
Let's have a real conversation. Let's have a real conversation.
Negro, you said that you would defend the cop killing your mama. I should have kicked you out the damn show.
I didn't say nothing about defending a cop killing my mama. I said it's a self-defense argument that he has a self-defense argument in the court of law. That's not defending somebody who can. You're getting emotional and taking it personal.
Right,
I don't know either one of these people. I'm just telling you what the law says.
No, you're wrong
we'll
about
see when it goes to trial.
You're wrong about premeditation. You're wrong about the law. All right, so, brother.
I'm telling you now. I am telling you now. If this goes to trial and that verdict, forever how long it goes, and those 12 jurors, it's not going to be the judge. It's going to be those 12 jurors. I wish I was part of those jurors. I wish I was, because the shit that's going to hit the fan if these people, and it better not be an all-white juror. It better not be. Because if it is, we're screwed. We're screwed. We are screwed. I gotta see the jurors. I gotta see the jurors. I gotta see the defendants. I gotta see the plan. Not the defendant. You see why I need coffee? You see why? You see why I need coffee?
If you would, what's your response? I'm running out of time.
I'm over here dying. Literally. I mean, I know what the law says. I know about self-defense. Okay, I've been in bad situations myself. But I also understand that you can't ask the question, "Are you okay? Are you having an episode?" Okay, and then place the woman. Literally, he placed the weapon in the woman's hand. If it was a weapon, he placed the weapon in the woman's hand.
You just said
That's
it right
what he
there.
did.
Is
And
it a
I'm not
weapon or is it
sure.
not a weapon?
I am not sure who had the mental break, because she comes off very reasonable compared to whatever episode. I know what the law says. I know about self-defense. Okay, I've been in bad situations myself, but I also understand that you can't ask the question, "Are you okay? Are you having an episode?" Okay, and then place the woman. Literally, he placed the weapon in the woman's hand. If it was,
You tell her, turn the stove off. You tell her to turn the stove off. She picks the pot up and slides the stove. I think she's gonna put it in the sink. I don't know why you would put it in the sink. It's just put it on another stove or something. Unless she has a two-eye stove, but she put it in the sink. Whatever. She was gonna put it in the sink. And then the basic officer, he backed up and he's right. He did have a discussion with her. She asked him what was wrong. She said, I don't want to be born with a pot of water. It's like, you want to be born with a pot of water. Well, I rebuke thee in the name of Jesus. We all know what that means. You know what? Hold on a second. Stay right there. TT, I'll borrow you for a second. My dear. Okay. Now I want you to speak up. They can't see you. Now I want you to speak up. When I say I'm gonna rebuke you in the name of Jesus, what does that mean?
Well, you usually do that when someone did something wrong. But when you say I rebuke you, they probably sin openly, and you're trying to rebuke that spirit out of them.
But in this case, the lady that got deleted, I'm just going to use that word. When the lady got deleted, before the lady got deleted, she was told to take the pot of boiling water off of the stove because he didn't want to cause a fire. And the officer backed up, and the lady asked him why were you backing off, because I don't want to be stung with the boiling water. And that's when she says, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. Right? Now, is this do you think she's preferring to the water? She doesn't want anything to happen to the officer, right? At that moment.
Yeah, because if the officer truly didn't do anything wrong, or she didn't deserve anything, there's something called the spirit of discernment, then she was probably rebuking any devil that was trying to.
Correct. Thank you. That was my daughter, ladies and gentlemen. A black woman. Wait, he said, we on this very important topic. A black woman who was seen as a nobody. They can't continue. Oh, I didn't know what to do. Let's stop conversation with one another. Just stop saying that. Oh, y'all too. Yeah, hey, y'all. It's It's an emotional time now. Come on now. But that was my daughter, ladies and gentlemen. And she just came from church, right? And she just displayed what it means to rebuke thee in the name of Jesus. Now, you can do this two different ways, right? What would drive that officer so crazy to the point where he had his hand on his gun? I will have my hand on my taser if I feel that there's a threat. Let's no, we all chill. We are all chill. We are all chill. We are chill. This is an emotional time. I know Traveling One. I know Traveling One, she's possibly a black female. I don't know. But I've known her for a while, and she is very passionate about femalism. She's very passionate, and I understand that because when she was over here, and she would basically defend certain individuals, and most of them are women, and women get a bad rap anyway, and I totally understand that. Again, there are multiple women. It's multiple men being killed, but now it's starting to become an equal amount of brothers and sisters being murdered. She said, "Don't give Traveling One a wrench." She's not over here long enough for me to give her a wrench. She's usually in other places. But I usually give people the benefit of the doubt. But my point to all this is, there are multiple people. If you're listening, there are multiple brothers and sisters are being murdered at the same rate now. I was gonna play the Umar video, but we're about to be running out of time pretty soon because I got to be getting out of here. But I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna come back for a part two. And I'm gonna play some other clips. So, but needless to say, I just wanted to get this off of my chest. Let's finish.
I'm over here dying, literally. I mean, I know what the law says. I know about self-defense. Okay, I've been in bad situations myself, but I also understand that you can't ask the question, "Are you okay? Are you having an episode?" Okay, and then place the woman. Literally, he placed the weapon in the woman's hand. If it was a weapon, he placed the weapon in the woman's hand.
You just said
That's
it right
what he
there.
did.
Is
And
it a
I'm not
weapon or
sure.
is it not a weapon?
I am not sure who had the mental break, because she comes off very reasonable compared to whatever episode he was going through in his head. I've never heard of anybody tell someone what they're going to do to them. Okay, take the uniform off of it. Take the uniform off, because he shouldn't have had it on the first damn place.
We can argue that.
If somebody says to you, "Tatum, don't throw this at me. I'm going to shoot you in your effing face." Okay, I mean, hey, that's going to put you in a state of fear.
No, well, kind of, sort of, right? I mean, if I got a pot and I'm going to throw it on you, and you pull a gun on me and say, "I'm going to shoot you in the face," and I let the pot go because I realize this guy's going to shoot me if I throw this pot at him, and she put her hands up.
No, let me put it like this, okay? No,
he put her hands up.
No,
it was over.
I am not.
How
I am
did
not
she throw the
shooting
pot?
woman.
Why did she throw the pot? No, I wouldn't either.
Because I don't want to get scolded. Okay,
but
that's crazy.
If she throws the pot of boiling water on you, you could potentially die from third-degree burns. You will be seriously dismembered or disfigured.
I'm not getting that close.
Permanently, you could.
Is my camera on? She might scold me. She's in this position. She has her hands up. Why am I explaining it? Why am I explaining it? It's just no. He's dumb. Yeah, he's dumb.
Be permanently blind.
I'm not getting that close.
It's the
permanently blind. No, he said
That's crazy.
If she throws the pot of boiling water on you, you could potentially die from 3rd-degree burns. You will be seriously dismembered or disfigured.
I'm not getting that close.
Permanently, you could be permanently blind.
I'm not getting that close.
It's not about
Martians could come down and take me to the moon or whatever.
We can say whatever we want to say and what we should have, would have, could have did. I agree with you. There's things that I believe I would have done differently. But when he points the gun at her, she puts her hands up. She goes down to the ground. She is no longer a threat initially because she's no longer a threat to them with the pot, so they move in to see what she's doing. Maybe she's giving up.
Still telling her,
but they're warning her because they're warning her because
now he's lying. They initially move in. They're still in the same position. He might move an inch forward. Well, he did move an inch forward, but there's the other cop that's still in the same position that he was. And until he yelled out, "Drop the pot, drop the pot." The second time she grabbed the pot. Drop the pot! That's when he fires. And there's the other element in the room. The second gun that was drawn, she got startled. This was murder, ladies and gentlemen. Murder in the 1st degree.
She did exactly what they were afraid of that she was going to do. They're saying, put the pot down. Don't touch the pot. They get closer to her. She gave up.
I got you.
Did anybody, I don't care who it is, did anybody hear the officer Grayson say, don't grab the pot? Did anybody say, don't grab the pot? Did anybody say that? Did you hear him say that? Did you hear Officer Grayson say, don't grab the pot? I didn't hear Officer Grayson say that. As a matter of fact, let me go back. Let me go back.
Injured in a car accident? Want to see if you qualify for a huge check like this? Don't call insurance. Don't call an attorney. Do this instead. There's a new
Fires 3 times, striking her in the face.
Headshot with the female, 1078.
Prosecutors say Massey starts to set down the pot and apologizes. Grayson fires 3 times.
He said, drop the effing pot. He said, drop the effing pot. He didn't say, don't grab the pot. He said, drop the effing pot. So what is he talking about? Let's go back.
What's going to do? They're saying, put the pot down. Don't touch the pot.
Don't touch the pot. Where was that at? Where was that? We just played the video. You sound stupid, sir. Inbred ass.
Closer to her, she gave up.
I got you. I'm getting the rap. I'm getting the rap.
They're going to prove that she intended to throw the pot the whole time.
Well, Tatum, like you said, you're getting emotional, brother.
I'm not getting emotional. I'm just telling you the truth.
I want to make sure we say this for the record. Mental health crisis, people experiencing them, it is a very delicate situation. And once that officer, and I, brother, I believe you, Taylor, that part is going to be important because he said it and it's on camera. He said it. He knew, he had knowledge. This is probably a mental health crisis.
It's a matter of record.
That's right. It's a matter of record now. And I think that knowledge going into that situation, to him still deciding to kill her rather than value her life and say what needed to be done was a mental health response.
The man decided that her life was not worth him getting scalded for.
This is what they were doing.
Just walking away.
Before
just
the
going
pot.
outside.
Just walking away.
This is what they were doing before the pot situation. They were on the phone with her. They were trying to get her the resources she needs before the pot. This is why in court is going to be a very different argument.
Well, we shall see, dear brother. You've been wrong. You've been wrong a whole lot.
I ain't never been wrong. What situation I've been wrong about?
Tatum.
But you're wrong today. You're wrong today.
Wrong today. We will see.
I gotta go.
Definitely wrong today.
You wrong today.
Thank you both for being on the show.
That's what situation I'm wrong about.
Tatum.
But you're wrong today. You're wrong today.
You say I'm wrong today. We will see. This is
all right. I gotta go.
Definitely wrong today.
I gotta go. Thank you both for being.
I gotta go, ladies and gentlemen. I gotta go. But listen, y'all stop fighting in the chat. Y'all stop fighting. I'm gonna be. He said you wrong today. I ain't never been wrong. You wrong today. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, I gotta do some things, but it will be part 2 coming up in about a few more hours. If you're welcome to stop by. If not, I understand. But we will continue this. No matter what, I love you all. All right. I'll check y'all later.